Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today I'm going to be playing another live game for you, and this time around it is going to be a Protoss versus Zerg played on the runes of Saras. Or Saras, I never quite know what to say. I've had a couple people like mention that apparently I've been saying Saras or something, and it's supposed to be Saras. Doesn't really matter all too much. It's the biggest map currently in the map pool on the ladder, and we are playing with the Protoss pieces. Now, I already did say GLHF to my opponent. He was not feeling it though. He was not feeling it, Mr. Doctor. Don't think I played against this dude before, but anyways. As far as Zerg versus Protoss goes, I'm not gonna lie. I've been playing quite a lot of cheesy games, primarily just because I find it to be really annoying to play against when I'm playing Zerg myself, but also because you can actually do so many different kinds of 2-base all-ins. Now, I'm gonna do a little bit of scouting right here just to figure out what my opponent is going for, but I'll likely transition into some sort of 2-base aggression just because I really do enjoy playing that style. It's really powerful, there's countless options, and there's still so many things to learn from it as well. I mean, if I would have said, you know, if I would have actually considered myself to be finished learning those kind of builds, I probably wouldn't be doing them nearly as much as I do right now, but I would say probably 80% of my Zerg versus Protoss, or Protoss versus Zergs rather, whenever I do get them, when playing random, I do go ahead and play a 2-base all-in, and if you're in anywhere of the lower leagues, anywhere from, you know, basically up to like, you know, high masters, maybe even grandmaster league, I'd probably recommend going for some sort of 2-base aggression, just because of how powerful and versatile it can truly be. Now, I am gonna go ahead here and actually add on the cybernetics core first, and then add the second pylon in the natural. Now, just like like I've been actually already doing with Terran as well, I've been learning Protoss primarily through losing games. So I basically just try and figure out what I think would be a cool strategy, practice it 100 times over, and eventually we come up with something that's actually pretty good. I've been losing a lot of matches. Currently, we are somewhere in the higher ranks of Master League, which means that we're up against good opponents here as well. Looks like he's actually spawned close ground, which is a little unfortunate for us. He's definitely gonna have the advantage if he wants to go for some sort of aggressive play early on, but it also does mean that we are gonna be much closer to his doorstep if that turns out to be a necessity. Anyways, I'm gonna follow this up here with, I'm actually gonna cancel these dudes. Gonna follow it up with an adept here as well as a mothership core. Mothership core is really important for early game defense, and well, I don't want these dudes to go back. And he says, he finally does say, have fun, good luck. Did go for the 3 command center, or the 3 hatch before pool apparently, or at least very quick expansion play. And we'll make sure that we just have everything we could possibly need here early on. So really quick 3-base play here by my opponent. Not seeing any kind of, yeah, not seeing any kind of roach warrens here early on, so I'm not too worried. Don't know how I miss seeing those, but it's all good, it's all good. We're gonna follow this up with a stalker as well, just in case, and I'm putting up a robotics facility just because of how good it is. Alright, this could be bad. Okay, no, he actually didn't run up. Woo! That could have been really bad. I actually thought I immediately dealt with those Zerglings already. But this is fine, this is fine. Alright, accidentally using those ping things. The ping things are quite useful, but not so much when you're playing a single player style. Alright then. So I got one stalker here that I'm gonna use to sort of like patrol the perimeter, so I can make sure that my opponent doesn't fly in. Now the nice advantage that we do have is that he sent his first overlord obviously close air for him, which means that he's gonna be in a bit of a disadvantage while this is all going on. I mean, he's not gonna have very many overlords close by here. Okay. That was a little risky. I'm gonna go ahead here and just make one more. And we'll also start queuing up the very first Immortal. So the Immortal is going to be great against all kinds of armies. Basically means that we just have to, you know, get it out early enough here. He did make quite a lot of Zerglings early on there. It's kind of surprising. You don't actually see that all too much. I guess he just made a bunch when he finished up Zergling speed initially. He was mining 3 in gas still when I scouted. So that could be an indication of my opponent wanting to be more and more aggressive here. Alright then. So we're actually already done here making workers. Don't really need to add on any more. So I'm gonna go ahead and start warping in some. Also morphing that dude. Got the first Immortal about to pop out. Gonna queue up a second one and start adding on a bunch more gateways. So far we are up to 4 gateway. How many is this actually? Yeah, we're up to 5 gateways here. That's fine. Did I just hit a supply block? Oh god, that's bad. Alright, we need to snipe a couple of our own workers. There we go. I do need to make sure I start that one up. Okay. That supply block there was pretty bad. That supply block I definitely cannot afford. But it's fine. It's fine. We got plenty of units here anyway. He did just fly in with his speed overlord, which is kind of unfortunate because now he knows exactly what we got going on here. So he definitely has the option to go ahead and hard counter whatever it is we are doing. Now, he didn't spot all of my gateways yet, and I don't know if he's gonna check again at the front. I'm gonna try and shoot these dudes away. I haven't shown him any immortals yet. Well, it was in my natural just previously, but I don't think he managed to see it. Alright. We'll go ahead and warp in some more of these things. And then as soon as these gateways finish up and my third immortal is out, we can start moving across the map. I'm immediately gonna queue up some more things. Do get the kill there, so that's actually a nice little pickup. And we'll make sure here to start up a couple more pylons as well, so we can go ahead and warp in whatever we would like. Alright, looks like we're good to go. Gotta do one big warp in cycle. There we go. Also add on a couple sentries. I probably should have actually warped in the sentries first, just so that I had the chance to, you know, accumulate some energy here, but shouldn't be that big of a difference. And here we start moving. Alright. So, Mothership Core, you're on 2. You're all gonna be 1. Let's get moving. So, ideally, actually, I want to sort of, like, see if I can maybe get across the map without my opponent spotting it. That's the ideal situation. Oh god, he just made a lot of stuff. I don't know exactly where that army went. I think he may have just run it home. Don't know if he has if he's actually just simply being annoying here and like going for burrow play. That would be annoying. Do have this dude. Gonna go ahead and just scout about here. Don't know if he burrowed. Okay, no, I don't think he did. I'm gonna go ahead and warp in a couple of units at home, most likely, as soon as I have the chance to. Okay, we got a huge army. Okay, that's really bad. Okay, it's fine. I'll just warp in there. There we go. Got a lot of stuff here, but he's obviously warping in a lot too. So one thing to keep in mind. Reinforcements are going to be cut off quite aggressively here too. Adding on as much as I possibly can. Gonna add on another warp prism here. Making sure that I eat as few of those corrosive bios as I can. Just trying to pick off whatever reinforcements I can find. Okay, very good. Dealing with most of this stuff. Ooh, hoo, hoo. That's less unfortunate. Oh god. Ha! He's actually going for muta switches? Interesting decision making right there by him. I'm gonna go ahead and then take another base, which I think is a fine option. Got a bunch of stalkers coming in. War Prism, you stay right there. And we'll start moving up this ramp. Do want to make sure I kill as many of those as I possibly can. Obviously want to be hiding these units if I can as well. Just start warping or like morphing in as much as many like drone casualties as I can. Well, obviously warping in the stalker place. Okay, let me start saturating that gas geyser. Add on those things, and then also add on, well, as soon as I can, like another, you know, another base, or another cannon in my natural. Okay. Don't know if this was worth it. This warping was a little risky. No, that was not worth it. Alright then. We'll have to add on a... I did make a fort, right? Yeah. I have to add on more workers here. I killed a lot of things, but not quite enough. I'm gonna try and do a little bit of aggression here while he's trying to drone up. And I guess we'll have to warp in stalkers now, but sadly I don't actually have all too much. I may actually just end up losing too much here to really make this worthwhile. Mothership Core is about to pop out. Oh my god. That's bad. I got a lot of things right now, but these mutas are going to town and I have really no way of dealing with them. Need to make sure that I start getting as much as possible here. If he kills that... oh my god, he's adding on so much. Where's he getting all this from? I was gonna say, like... if he manages to somehow, some way... stay alive here, he's gonna be in a great position. If he somehow, some way manages to kill my... my cyber core... I'm not gonna be able to warp in any units that can shoot up. He's got so many things. He's got so many things. I got nothing. I have not enough here to kill these units. There's just too many Mutalisks to really stop me from or like there's just too many of them to like try and kill this right now, and I am gonna be forced to GG out. Alright, so performance-wise, we did quite well. This dude is a very high-level player, as you can see by the little star there. And graphs-wise, we actually were super far ahead in the army supply. Now, the issue, obviously, is that at some point, his army supply started climbing, where I was focusing on warping in a lot of adepts. And at that point, my opponent just, you know, started making as many Mutalisks as he possibly could. Now, that did actually give us an advantage initially there because of the amount of workers that he made, but because we didn't have anything at home to really defend against it, we were in trouble. Alright, so losses like this always happen, and it can be extremely frustrating if you don't get anything out of it. Now, it's very important for you whenever you're like losing games to check out the replay and be like, okay, let's be critical here. I did not play perfect whatsoever. What exactly went wrong here, and what exactly could I have done to prevent this, you know, thing from happening once again? In this particular case, my opponent saved up gas, he saved up minerals to make a whole bunch of Mutalisk, and initially it seemed like he was only gonna be able to make a couple. Now, I think there was a moment where I should have just simply gone home, warped in stalkers instead of zealots and adepts, and just go from there. Also, I immediately threw up my third base, which I think has probably been a mistake. So, I deal with the initial aggression quite well. We killed the third base, and at that point, I'm really far ahead. Now, I decide to try and finish off the game right after this little bit of a skirmish, right? So my opponent is adding on more and more roaches. I deal with the roaches just fine. We kill practically everything that's going on in that base. And I am going to be in a great lead right at this point right here. So what exactly are we supposed to do at this point in time? So let's have a look at his army. He's currently producing 4 more Mutalisk. He's got 5 out already. His third base is practically dead, and at this point, you know, we're definitely at a nice advantage. Supply-wise, we are ahead as well, and we're in an okay spot. Now, I do decide to keep on pushing here with this army. One of the things I should have definitely done, and where there's absolutely no excuse, is split up my army preemptively. I mean, these immortals, look at how many kills they got. They did work, right? They did work, but they're likely gonna go down here. I have no way of getting them home in time, and if the mutas target them down, they're gonna be dead anyway. The units that are mobile here, though, are the adepts. I could easily send all the adepts right here in the natural, or maybe a couple into the main as well, to pick off workers right there, so he has absolutely no way of coming back. You gotta keep in mind that while I did manage to kill his third base, I am also only on 2 bases myself, right? It's not like I have a huge economy advantage at this point in time. So what I could have definitely done is sent, first off, all the adepts in the base to keep the aggression going. Now, this army here is guaranteed to die. There's absolutely no way this army stays alive, right? Or at least, like, I could walk it home right now. It's gonna be chased down, and it's not a smart decision, I don't think, to walk home with this army after the mothership core has died. What I could have done, though, I think what I could have done a lot better is just simply, you know, start warping in stalkers at home right now. I mean, I still have the economy, I still have the income to support that. I even got a third base coming up, and if I would have first off sent the adepts into the natural, just simply started warping in a lot of stalkers and maybe some other units as well, and just went ahead and, you know, banked on my third base, I think I would have been in a great spot. Because first off, like, I would ruin the economy, so I wouldn't really be able to do very much, because off of 2 bases you can't really play too heavy in Mutalisk either. And secondly, I would actually take the guaranteed lead. What I do instead is try and finish off the game, because I know that mutas aren't that great against stalkers in small numbers. However, you know, I keep running units in. War Prism is coming in right now as well. I warp in a bunch of stalker. Once again, try and kill those things. Really should not have done that. This right here is a massive mistake as well. Mutalisk are really powerful once they get into a relatively big group, and this is where the game is practically lost. So what should we have done instead? Once again, let's learn from the mistake here. What should we have done instead? After dealing with his third base, and after like wrecking practically all of the economy that was right there, I should have tried to cut my losses, go home with like the army that was still waddling across the map, so these dudes in particular, and then the initial war pin right here with the second war prism too. I should have stopped using the aggression right there and just, you know, sent them home instead. Bank on the 3 bases, get blink stalkers out. One of the things I always try and do here is put out a Stargate, because I know Phoenixes are good, but they are so hard to get out. I don't know what I was thinking there. I should have just gotten the +1 attack, should have gotten the Blink Stalker, put up a couple of cannons here and there, and just play it super safe. So instead of taking a guaranteed, you know, a guaranteed advantage, I decided to take a risk and you know, squeeze out a victory just barely. Like, he's got barely any economy, right? But at that point, the Mutas just are absolutely demolishing me. So long story short, we have learned a lesson the hard way. I know it can be tricky sometimes when you're in this situation. You're like, come on, man, mutas are so imba. Ugh. Don't think that way. Don't think that way. Look at the replay, figure out what you should have changed up, and don't make the mistake again, alright? I'm gonna try and not make this mistake again in the next game. Hopefully you aren't either. At least I'm making the mistake so you don't really have to, and you can hopefully learn a little bit from these type of videos. But either way, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one. Boom!